Hi, welcome back to Eclectic Alu. Today I'm answering a question that I received, and this was in my Spanish channel, and they asked me, it's very interesting to me how narcissism, covert or not, repeats itself through families, right? And yeah, we talk about something that is very interesting, which is intergenerational trauma. Once you start healing and working on yourself, you see that there's certain patterns in families that repeat, right? And sometimes we have to say, okay, I'm not going to follow this model of behaviors anymore. This thing that I learned through my family, this way of living, this way of feeling, of communicating with, it's in every inch of aspect of your group, family group. For example, when it comes to immigrants, when it comes to machismo, which is a big thing in Spain, in Italy, in Argentina, it used to be, it's still there sometimes and everywhere. And everything that's an extreme, that hurts people. That breeds narcissism, because there's invalidation, there's, ignoring other people's feelings. It's all about me and what I want, and I'm entitled to do things and all that. So all that, like racism, all that's that breeds narcissism. And so yeah, it repeats itself through our family tree sometimes, and many times maybe there's here's what I want to tell you about family constellations. This is considered to be a pseudo theory. It's by Bert Hellinger, and he's a German, I think he used to be a priest, and then he became a psychologist, and so he developed this, where he says there's a morphogenic field in the families, and he says that this energy field is as if it communicates with younger generations. So maybe a great-grandfather used to be excluded from a family, let's say, or someone, and then 4 generations down the road you have a person that feels excluded and behaves as if this person is excluded. So it's not scientifically proven, but it's very interesting, because it relates to something that to me it's obvious after seeing my clients and all that. You see how narcissism breeds narcissism sometimes, and also it breeds codependency. So we are a product of our parents, grandparents, and so on. So the thing is, here we come here to heal our family tree. This idea of you not having to repeat your grandmother's or your mom's behaviors and model of being in the world, where maybe she was used to not expressing her feelings, didn't have any agency, and maybe the father was overbearing. It's where we repeat models from our ancestors without knowing, until you end up with a toxic person, and then this is where you start healing and understanding that you're repeating certain models of behaviors, and that you have agency now. You can decide that you will not repeat everything that your family did, or maybe those models were not as good as you thought, and you need to reframe and say, okay, this is not what I want. I'm protecting younger generations from this traumatic way of being in life, and so I'm going to try to be healthy so that this toxic thing stops here. You can heal not only yourself, but you will heal posterior generations, like generations that come after you. So yeah, I think it's very interesting to learn about our own families and what happened there and why we are the way we are, and try to heal that, right? And just looking at your family and everything, just saying, okay, this is what happened, this is how they were, and not justifying anything, that's very important. Not saying, okay, now that I understand, I justify their behaviors and it's all okay. No, you say it's not okay, they didn't do what they should have done, maybe you didn't get a loving parent, maybe. So that's that radical acceptance, accepting that this is what happened, and that's that. But that that you now have the ability to choose to be okay. You have the ability to decide I'm going to be healthy now. I'm not going to engage in those behaviors, not going to justify behaviors because they are in my family. So you have the right to say, yeah, that's that. They do this, that's how they behave, and now I'm going to move towards a more healthier way of being. You can heal your family tree by saying, okay, I recognize these patterns in my family and I know they're there, accept that they're there, see them for what they are, and do not justify them. Just say, yeah, this happens and it's not okay and I won't put up with this anymore. Okay, and that's that, and without any animosity or anything, just understanding this information that you are getting while healing and feeling better, and just saying, yeah, I won't repeat these patterns, and I see grandmother, mom, dad, whatever, sister, brother, that you did this, you're doing this, but I choose to be healthier, so I don't have to repeat that and do not have to engage in that. I don't have to repeat these patterns. Yeah, I won't justify these behaviors or enable these behaviors anymore in the future with anybody, because our health, our mental health depends on ourselves being healthy. So yeah, you can decide to stop repeating that cycle and pattern. That's the most interesting part here. And I know this subject doesn't sell well here, but it's true. You know, it's about realizing our family's things, quirks, traumas, problems, and seeing them for what they are, objectively, and accepting that, understanding that this is why I did X and Y and Z. So I won't be doing that anymore. I won't be enabling narcissistic behavior. I won't be justifying aggressive behaviors. I won't be justifying quirks and weird ways of being in the world because, you know, my mother used to do that or whatever. No, right? So that's your decision now. And I hope this was interesting. Thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.